can try to solve
Look at what?
the issue with it switching the sky cam. It doesn't seem like it.
Oh, where it's randomly changing to the webcam.
Yeah.
When I do it, I should be like, it's 5:32 right now in Oshkosh.
Okay.
Time and the temperature once an hour.
You ready to go?
Yeah, it should be. I think this thing's on. You should join me, Condog.
Nope.
Why not?
Not a chance.
I can turn you into a podcast star. You could be on the pod.
Click send on that notification, and move your cam one over.
Wait, what?
Literally just left click on that mouse. It's already hovering over the button.
Okay. Send notification.
Yes.
How do I turn the mics on, or can people hear me now?
Already on.
Oh, good. So I'm going to have to be quiet.
Frequency levels bouncing already.
Okay.
Speak, so.
Okay. Okay. How do I? Okay. Yeah, I know. I gotta make it so my head isn't. Yeah, the. Okay.
Down.
Now I'm working on it. Okay.
And then you want to put your cam on into
Right
after
there.
you hit send notification.
Hit send notification, then hit cut.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
It should already be up on Facebook.
So hit send notification,
And then
and it went back to the. Okay. We good? How you doing, everybody? Welcome to your weekly sports chat, Packers chat. We got a little bit to talk about. No Dave, no Joey, so it's just me today. So we're going to make this as quick as possible. We got a lot to talk about, especially with Rich Bisaccia on his way out. The shocking news, or maybe a little bit surprising news because of the timing last night. 38 days after the season is over, Rich Bisaccia making the decision to step down. So once again, Matt LaFleur is looking for a special teams coordinator. The fourth time he's had to do it in 8 years. It's kind of always been a hot button, maybe a kind of a focal point for the fan base, and maybe some of the issues for this team when it comes to especially playoff success. Look at this past year where you had Brandon McManus missing 2 field goals and an extra point in the playoff loss, and then you had Romeo Dobbs with the botched onside kick recovery in the first loss to Chicago. So the wrong reasons maybe that you were seeing people pay attention to the special teams, but Rich really had the support of the guys you need to have the support of in that building, like Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. And I go back to this quote, and I even had to print it out to make sure I get it right, from Goody's press conference a few weeks ago when he said, "What Rich brings to our culture, this football team, he's a very impactful coach around here." With that, if it tells you anything, is it wasn't just what you saw on the football field. This is a guy who really helped kind of establish what the play style of this team was, and is really somebody that is beloved by that entire locker room. Maybe didn't always have the results that you would like to see when you look at the grand scheme of things, special teams, but a guy that was, if you talk to anybody in that locker room, go talk to a guy like Keyshawn Nixon, who spent his entire pro career playing for Rich Bisaccia. Those guys will follow him to the end of the earth. He is a favorite coach in that locker room for a reason. And then you start looking at, okay, so now what do we do next? And maybe this is why I definitely think this was definitely Rich's decision, at least as my opinion, was because 38 days, a lot of the good special teams candidates and for the coordinator position they've got jobs. New head coaches have taken over, and they've kind of moved in and taken those roles. That includes even Rich Bisaccia's assistant is now, Brian Stoyer is now the special teams coordinator of the Browns. So you can't even promote anybody. So Bill Huber had a really good list of possible assistants that are currently special teams assistants that could fill this void. A couple names that really stood out to me from his list: Brian Schneider of the Commanders worked with the Seahawks under Pete Carroll as a special teams coordinator. So if you want a guy that's got that experience already, that knows how to be a special teams coordinator, that is definitely something that he's probably would help him. Another guy, you look at Devin Fitzsimmons of the Seahawks, an assistant under Jay Harbaugh, currently with the team. The Seahawks really made some strides, but they also went out and spent money on special teams. Nobody spends more money than they do in that unit. If you're going to be a guy coming in, you're probably going to want to see them spend a little more money. Maybe go out and get you a kick return specialist, a guy that can change the game and can flip the field that way. We really didn't maybe get a lot from Matthew Golden Company this year. Romeo Dobbs was back there. Romeo is a free agent, so that is going to be a area of concern, whether it's the kickoff return or the punt return unit. Things he's got coming back that a special teams coordinator would probably like, having a guy like Daniel Whelan definitely helps. Like to say during the season, Whelan is a weapon. That's definitely something a special teams coordinator would like. One other thing I really want to hit on before we get out of here, we got to talk about Doug Gottlieb getting a 1-game suspension for his, I described it as he was hulking up or going to full-on Hulk mode, smashing things after the Milwaukee loss on Sunday. Those comments, I think when everybody saw them, probably thought this is not going to be good for him. And he gets a 1-game suspension today from the Horizon League, so Kerry Rupp will be taking over for him on Friday at Oakland. Rupp does have experience as a head coach, so that's anytime you can have an assistant like Kerry Rupp, that is definitely a good thing for them. And Doug has talked all year, really, really given a lot of credit to the turnaround that we've seen this year to the assistants on his staff. So Kerry Rupp will get a chance. We'll get to see what he can do as the head coach come on Friday at Oakland. So that's all the time we got today. I got to run and get the 6 o'clock ready. So thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.